Hi guys. I'm currently, it's around about now, I believe, about 21 weeks to the show that I'm competing in. And I wanted to do a video actually on sort of how to keep that kind of motivation and discipline going, and about non-negotiables, even though I don't really like that word, 'cause it's kind of a sort of a fancy word now that a lot of people use. You know, it's a non-negotiable, but non-negotiables and cardio. So I have an X amount of steps to get in at the minute every day. It's around about 12k, and that's the target for now. That will increase as obviously prep goes on. Today, however, I feel shit. I really feel like I woke up with this major sore throat. You know, feeling you get when you've just woke up for the first hour, and you can tell it's like if you swallow, it's going to be like a knife to the throat. That's kind of what it feels like. And right now, my energy levels, because of this, it's just so in the gutter. It's so shit. But the way I treat a lot of these things, like cardio and the training and stuff, it's kind of like basic necessities of health. For example, it's like brushing your teeth, or taking a shower, or getting washed. These are things you just need to do, you know. Training and fitness is kind of similar to that. And once you accept that this is a necessity, you know, it's part of your health routine. Let's just call it hygiene. It's not hygiene, obviously, but you know what I mean is, if you treat it like that, you know, it makes it a lot easier just to sort of get the work done. I also treat it like work, right? So, you know, you have, say, a shift in work or a rota. You know, you can't, there's no option, unfortunately, in work just to turn around and say, I don't want to do that today. I'm just going to sit here. You don't have that option. Exact same way I treat training and cardio. So I'm about to go now to the gym and do some cardio. Now, I usually walking, I'm just walk steps outside mostly, but I'm trying to push down to a certain weight category at the minute. So I'm doing a bit of walking outside, but also a little bit of in gym cardio, like steppers, and a bit more of just intense steps. But I'm gonna take a fat burner. It doesn't burn fat, it just makes me sweat a wee bit. Hit up and fat burners. But I'll get the cardio done, and I'll let you know if I feel any better after the cardio, as an example of how you can force yourself to feel better even if you are feeling dog shit, and that's including if you're feeling unwell. Now, I just have a sore throat, by the way. If I had a flu, this would be different. If I had a flu, shitting myself and puking myself, I wouldn't obviously be doing cardio, but yeah. Remember what I said, it's a box ticking exercise. So when life gives you boxes, you tick them very fast. And what helps with the motivation as well, and discipline, which I didn't bring up before, but it will help. If you see the likes of like little succulent soft drinks like this, I treat it like an elixir, you know. So if you've ever played like World of Warcraft, which I'm a big fan of, or like any kind of fantasy game, any kind of computerized game, you know, you get like potions and elixirs. It's like agility up, stamina, strength up. Well, that's what I do for the gym. So even though I don't really need a pre-workout, I take it, you know, because coloured drinks like this makes me feel like I'm taking an elixir, and I sort of imagine myself going, okay, oh, that's my stam, run, I need to train. Try that. So, cardio's over, and I do feel a lot better for it. Now, in terms of steps, that garnered me about 5,000 steps or so, for about 45 minutes of a walk. So I'm going down to get the boy now from school, which is only about a 2-minute walk from my house, but believe it or not, that'll get you about 600 steps actually. So wee tiny steps over the day. You have to get up more, do things. It's a lot more beneficial. But do I feel better for getting up and doing the non-negotiable, the tick box exercise? Absolutely. So halfway through the day, still turning meals in. I'm in meal 3 now, but let's talk about the non-negotiables a little bit more in the greater context here. Which, the reason I'm doing this is to maybe hopefully help someone out there, someone of you that perhaps feel that there's some days where you're quite flaky in the gym and your commitments. Maybe to the point where the possibility of skipping, like a fitness routine. So say if some daily like skipping a walk or skipping the gym or skipping a healthy meal you only do because you don't really feel yourself, or maybe it's just a form of, well, let's face it, laziness. That's why I'm going to bring this up. So when I was talking earlier about the non-negotiable, so I did feel shit earlier, and throat is still killing me. I feel very, the general groggy feeling. And one thing I'll say is that the idea of going to the gym at that point was just completely off cards. I did not want to do it, and I certainly don't want to walk on a treadmill for 40 to 45 minutes, you know, but I did. And that's because the way I envision a lot of my gym sessions and health sort of routines is that of just, it's work. And it is, if you view things as a necessity, like you have to clean the house, you have to fill fuel up in your car, you have to go to work, you have to perform these tasks day in, day out, daily tasks. So then at the end of the day, you feel more fulfilled when you do decide to sit your ass down in the sink, that you feel like, you know what, I've done my basic survival tasks, I've done my basic productive tasks to venture me into making a better person out of myself, and I've done my current tasks, which is take care of everyone else and families. And once that's all done, you can sit at the end of the day feeling a lot more fulfilled about yourself. And that's, you know, that's the best way to treat it, I think, anyway. Like, what I'm over and prep is difficult, and as I've said to people before, prep is not easy, and it's very exhausting, especially when you're riding on low calories all the time, and especially if you get a bit sick. But there's no means to stop, you know. The way I've seen this is that I made a commitment a few months ago to decide to do this again, to compete. Now, everyone has their own things. Obviously, a lot of you guys probably not competing. That doesn't matter. You know, everyone to some degree makes commitments to their peers, be it family members, community, or friends, at some point to say, I'm going to lose weight, or I'm going to try to get out more, I'm going to be more healthy, I'm going to try to build more muscle, I'm going to get stronger. Once you've said it, you've made that commitment. You know, that's on you. You need to stick to it. You know, you're an adult. Well, I hope anyway, or maybe a young adult. The words matter, and the commitments matters. And I wasn't gonna. It doesn't really matter. People wouldn't really care if I turned around to them and said, "Do you know what? I've changed my mind. I'm not gonna do it." I've made that commitment. You know, I would let myself down if I did that. But it also shows other people the type of person I would be. You know, an unreliable person, a flaky person that just changes their mind at a drop of a hat. You know, says he's gonna do something and doesn't follow through. Doing shit's hard, but that's what makes us human. You know, we do hard work, we do hard stuff. That's what gives us a bit of fire in our bellies. I didn't want to do it, but right now I'm on 8,000 steps, 4,000 behind target. I feel good. I'm glad I did it. I'm glad I got out. So this is your video and your sign if you're watching, to get your ass up and get the tick boxes done. Tick them, get on with your day. Anyway, if you like the video, please don't forget to like, subscribe. I know I've been quite quiet in the videos recently due to prep, but I promise I'll be putting a lot more vlogs out showing prep and more meals and more expansive forms. But have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.